In today's episode of Black Comic Book Conspiracies, I want to just kind of highlight one thing that I noticed and a lot of people aren't really talking about. I think we all notice it, but I find it extremely interesting. If you look at Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, which are typically considered your big three, you go any place across this country, you go anywhere across the world, and you can say Superman, everybody's going to know who the hell you're talking about. You say Batman, for the most part, people know who the hell you're talking about. Same thing with Spider-Man. None of these characters have any black villains inside of their own galleries. If I look at Spider-Man, he had originally his very first time he ever fought a black person in a costume was the Prowler. He fought him like 3 times before, Prowler really started to turn over a new leaf and started going superhero. Same thing with Rocket Racer. He started off as a villain, but then he joined the Outlaws with the Prowler. So it's kind of more so an anti-hero, and then he retired, and, but he did way more good than bad. But throughout the years, Spider-Man doesn't have any significant black villains. Superman, please, he doesn't have not one black villain that, constantly pesters him. Same thing with Batman, Joker, Penguin, everybody that he fights is a white guy. Now, I don't know if this is because a lot of artists and writers are afraid to depict a black or brown person as evil, or they feel like as soon as they do that, then it's like, oh, why do we have to play an evil guy? Instead of looking at it like, hey, let's create an evil black person and make him really cool at the same time, make him powerful. But I think the fear is if we do that, then the backlash will be, oh, well, why you create an original black character, but he's freaking evil. Even the Legion of Doom, you have one black member, which is technically you have 2. You got Black Manta, obviously, but he's an Aquaman villain, or he's super pro-black. And then you have Black Adam. Oh, well, see, Black Adam's not really from Egypt, you see. Black Adam is more so from Kush and like Iran area, and he's not really black. He's definitely not white. We know he's not white. Billy Boston's white. Shazam's white. Black Adam's not white, but he was definitely depicted. In America, if you're not black as ice, you're going to be depicted as a white guy. Jesus Christ is depicted white here. He's from Europe someplace. That's just what the narrative says. And not the narrative in the Bible, but that's what the narrative says. But I just find it really interesting that there's really no significant black villains. And not even just for the big 3. Aquaman has Black Manta. The DC universe, once you say Black Manta, that's really it. There's nobody else that you can really even think of that sticks out. You got in the Marvel universe, you got Apocalypse. Somebody, Moses Magus or Magnum. I guess, but he's not even being printed today. The only other person that you have is Killmonger. That's significant. And up until, I don't know, a couple years ago when Black Panther movie came out, he wasn't significant at all. Even the comic book was like maybe a $10 book, his first appearance. That's an $80 book all day long. So, I just think, is it because Marvel's scared to create characters? They don't give a shit. They rather just pump out, more white characters and more white villains because that's who they are. So you print who you are, or is it fear that black people will get upset and they can't win for trying? Why is it that we don't even have any villains? When we think about heroes, we really only have the big 3 that's being printed today. Storm, Black Panther, and Luke Cage. I don't even think Luke Cage even has his own series anymore. People will also say, if the writing was better, if the art was better, people would buy those books. Don't be honest with you. I'm not even gonna flex. Like black people don't really buy comic books like that. They don't. The ones that do, some of us won't even buy books that have the correct representation of us in there. We'll just go, we'll hang out with our white friends and we'll buy the stuff that they buy. Then you have people like me that I'll go out and buy, any book that has a great story, I think has staying power, have legs. And I love my white characters. I just don't like it with mixed in with white supremacy. I hate white supremacy as much as people hate as much as white folks hate social justice issues. So it's like it's a double down. I did a video about Naomi and how Naomi, we'll see what type of villain she's gonna have. Probably mostly all white. Because I guess Marvel feels like if you have a black villain against a black hero, then it's gonna be, that's representation of black on black violence. No, it's not. Now, granted, I know I have a bunch of comments, but Luke Cage had nothing but black villains back in the 70s. Yeah, those people aren't being printed today. Sorry. And like Big Bertha, like she doesn't fight anybody else, but people in Harlem at that time. It's not even being printed today. So I just bring that to the forefront. I do a lot of these head canons on my way to work. So if you hear a lot of air in the background, you hear me yearning, because I'm on my way to work. That's why I do a lot of my thinking. But yeah, man, like keep collecting. Maybe one day Marvel, somebody with some privilege might hear this video, or somebody might get inspired to make another video like this, and all of a sudden we get some more characters. Because for me, it's all about characters and the right representation. I just don't want a bunch of villains that are stereotypical black dude from Harlem, black dude from some south side of Chicago that drunk this formula and now he's superhuman. I want to catch a black dude from Oklahoma, a black dude from Texas, a black dude from Charlotte, a black dude from Orlando, Florida, and he gains. I don't want it from being from a typical state, typical city. I want him to be a fresh, brand new character. And I don't want him to only just fight for social justice issues. I want him to fight for I want him to fight for a lot of stuff. So yeah, man, that's all I wanted to bring up to the forefront. I'm out.